Yo, speaking of Neptune, man, that guy's talented as
The recount coming in, Neptune!
To the CDL for Vancouver, they bring in Neptune.
Terrible. You are terrible. Beats, why are you smiling before the match? Look at me.
They get melted nice and quick, so good takedown there on Frosty.
Now. Here comes the push from Faith. Neptune, though, from up high, finds himself 3 kills.
London just pushed too far.
What you want?
Ready. 2 seconds.
Nice.
Calm down. Neptune, can he clutch? He's in. What?
In February of this year, Neptune joined the Call of Duty League and immediately made an impact. Vancouver Surge became a top 3 team in the game, and Neptune was on his way to becoming the best SMG in Black Ops 6. He emerged from the shadows, but people were hyping him up in the challenger scene. This had been a long time coming, and it's not even his first time in the league. So in today's video, we'll explore how Neptune ascended from obscurity to become a star player on Vancouver Surge. Neptune grew up in Indiana, where he was introduced to video games at a young age. The primary reason his dad got him a console in the first place was to help him with the speech impediment that he was dealing with. This way, Neptune could talk to people online and work on his speaking skills. He started playing Halo 3 and also dabbled in Call of Duty World at War on the Xbox. He fell in love with first-person shooter games, but it wouldn't be until years later that Neptune started competing, not in Call of Duty, but in Halo. Neptune learned Halo up and down. This was 2017, and he went through the HCS open circuit, and going into the 2018 season, the young Neptune was a hype prospect. So hyped, in fact, that he got recruited by the veteran trio Ace, Lunchbox, and APG. Initially playing as Instinct, the team was signed by Renegades in time for MLG Orlando, where they finished in the top 6 after losses to Optic Gaming and Reciprocity. But he continued competing through 2020 and even found some success in the Halo 5 Pro Series Championship with Team Sentinels.
We're seeing Cloud9 being ran on right now. 150 to 19 is going to be your scoreline. Sentinels will be your HCS champions.
So even at an early age, Neptune proved he could hang with the best of the best and had the skills to compete at the highest level. There was still inconsistency there, but the talent was undeniable. Things started to change for Neptune around 2019 because that's around the time when Black Ops 4 came out. He was still playing Halo, but in his free time, he would play with some friends, and he absolutely loved this game. So while still competing in Halo, he also started to dabble in COD a bit. Naturally, he transitioned to the search and destroy wagers and matched up against better competition. But one thing was clear, Neptune was good. Like, really good. Neptune is naturally talented at FPS games and used his foundation in Halo to propel him forward in COD. He continued competing in Halo in 2020, and that's where he won the Pro Series, but shortly after, he transitioned back to Call of Duty. I mean, it was definitely appealing with the introduction of the Call of Duty League. There was a lot more opportunities, and Neptune wanted to take full advantage of this. Being a hype young prospect from the Halo scene, it didn't take too much time for him to find himself on a challenger squad. Within the first few months of the Cold War season, Neptune was already making the right connections with players like Parasite, Draza, Blast. Eventually, he joined the Florida Mutineers in January 2021 as a substitute before the season began. The Florida Mutineers finished the inaugural CDL season with a solid 3rd place finish, but placed top 8 at COD Champs Online. The offseason was very difficult for the Mutineers as Frosty retired and Pharaoh unfortunately passed away. Florida recently extended Havoc, Skies, and Pharaoh, but needed to fill their roster in a very short time frame. Slack ended up joining the team. The ex-Halo Pro Neptune joined the team as a substitute, so Neptune kept on grinding, but before the kickoff classic, Havoc was moved to the bench and replaced by Neptune. They clearly had belief in this kid and wanted to put him to the test. Unfortunately, Neptune's rookie season was filled with trials. The team was never able to put it together and managed just 1 win during Stage 1. They performed a bit better at Major 1 by taking down Seattle and Paris before falling to a top 8 finish. But Neptune was making individual strides and getting more comfortable in the league.
Mutineers in a much better spot this time. They've got to win some fights around mid, and well, Neptune doing it all. There's still one up on this side, and that's going to be Neptune. How many can he locate? Because the rest of his team is dropping. He's doing a great job. He's gotten 3.
Unbelievable. Neptune from behind now, making his way forward. It's going to be 2 for Neptune as well. And just like that, it's a 1v2 with the bomb down. What a flurry of action. Great. Makes a lot of noise though. Looney might peek this. He's feeling himself. There's the shoulders. Throws the shoulders. throws the shots. Neptune finally gets the kill. It's a 1v1, 12 seconds on the clock. Neptune's going to be straight in the bomb. The tag's going to land through. Pristini on the slide. Oh, wait a minute.
He got it.
He got it. Neptune got
No,
it.
he did it. Let's go.
Wait, did he? Wait. Oh,
Bang!
my word.
Stage 2 saw another last place finish, and the team's chemistry was faltering. After a 10th place finish at Major 2, a roster change needed to be made. Havoc rejoined the lineup for Stage 3, and it turned out to be their best one yet. Florida finished with a 3-2 record during the stage, and were eliminated top 6 at the following major after just one win in the winners bracket. Neptune had his best stage yet during Stage 4, where he posted a 1.14 online and a 1.36 on land. Despite good slang numbers from him, the rest of the season ended in a top 8 finish across the board. Even when he arrived at his first ever Call of Duty champs, Florida found themselves in the A spot once again. The trio of Neptune, Awakening, and Skies, despite their talent, never seemed to mesh well and had very little teamwork. And Neptune later explained why the team never worked out.
I feel like it just has to do with their personalities that didn't mesh well. Like Awakening, I don't know why, it just never felt like I was on the same page as him like ever in the game. The best way I can explain him, in my opinion, is he's like a one-man army, like, and he doesn't involve his teammates in anything he does, you know? But I'm not trying to roast him or anything, it's just like we didn't work well together.
Neptune's rookie season taught him a lot about the hardships of competing at the pro level, but he also proved that the individual talent was there, regardless of what people thought. But Neptune's time with Florida eventually concluded on October 6, 2021. He had done more than good enough to secure a spot for the Vanguard season, and lucky for him, NYSL was targeting young prospects to join the veteran duo of Crimsix and Clayster. So naturally, they kept Hydra from the Cold War season and signed Neptune in the offseason through a buyout. It didn't seem that there was any bad blood between the team, and Neptune and Hydra became really good friends, and it looked like they were set to have a great season. They played the game for almost 3 months by the time the kickoff classic began, and they placed fairly well at the first tournament with a top 4 finish. Everything went downhill after that. During stage 1, they played Seattle Surge, losing 0-3. Neptune really struggled this game, and the veterans had enough.
Guys, we gotta rotate, man.
Yeah,
rotate. Everyone relax, dude. Please.
He was at
Like Travis or Parker, you're talking super loud. I got him. I'm nading you too.
They benched Neptune after the first week in the Call of Duty League. Now, this may seem kind of random, but Neptune had a conflict with one of his teammates before he even joined NYSL. So we'll have to take a step back to his rookie season. Around the time Neptune started making waves in Cold War, he was not afraid to back down from anyone, including veterans like Crimsix. There was a gentleman's agreement going around the Cold War season that prohibited players from using auto sprint. Now, it's just an in-game mechanic. It was GA'd by the pros, but apparently Neptune was still using it. This prompted Crimsix to call him out on Twitter, and it led to a back and forth between the two. At one point, Neptune even called him a strange person. They continued to talk trash in scrims, and it just shows that there was a little bit of drama in the prior season, but they both looked past it to team together, and at the end of the day, it really wasn't that serious of a conflict, but it does show that they were butting heads before they were even teammates. There was a lot of conflict with how the team communicated, and he wasn't happy with how things were conducted. But
Exactly, gotta play to my strengths. Like, me sitting in a corner on hill every single life is not my strengths, you know? Like, that's not what got me this far in my career, you know?
there are two sides to every story, and Crimsix and Clayster weighed in. He was eventually brought back into the starting lineup after a failed run with Royalty, but the deep-seated issues were holding the team back, and they finished Major 2 qualifiers in 4th. After a top 12 finish at Major 2 in Minnesota, the NYSL roster collapsed. Crimsix even calling Neptune the worst SMG in the league.
Like, I was trying my hardest, like, every day, like, to, like, get better. After we, like, lost at, like, the kickoff, like, I, you know, came back to my apartment. Like, they just, like, came to my apartment, and, like, they literally, like, sat me down, and Crim literally just such, like straight to my face, like, you're the worst up in the world.
Damn, boy, what the f?
Well, here's the thing.
And, like I said, I'm not,
I said that. I did.
First you said he couldn't throw a grenade, then you said that?
So Neptune was released from the roster before the Pro-Am Classic, and they eventually went their separate ways.
And the whole team didn't want to play them. Is that not only did our team not want to play with Travis, but the entire CDL doesn't either.
They did hop on the flank and hashed out their disagreements, so I'm pretty sure they're cool now, but it was just a crazy time for Neptune and forced him into the challenger scene for a few months during Vanguard. He was officially released from NYSL on May 14th, 2022, and he played in challengers with Brack, Two Real, and Major Maniac. He even managed to win the Challengers Open event in Toronto, beating Scrap and Ultra Academy.
He gets all four! A team nade
A quad feed to take the championship, and it's the Kings who earned their first crown.
And after a promising midseason to capture the Major 2 crown, the Los Angeles Guerrillas made significant roster changes to mix up the formula at the tail end of their 2022 campaign. With just a couple weeks to go until Stage 4, LAG is going back to what worked for them, bringing Spartan and the CDL standout to its ranks. Los Angeles Guerrillas signed Neptune in June 2022. The team was at the bottom of the league outside of the Miracle Run, and Neptune and Spart didn't change much for them. They were able to showcase their skill set at the end of the Vanguard season, but they ultimately missed COD champs. It was the tail end of the season though, and LAG believed in this roster, so they decided to run it back, minus Slasher plus Arcides for the Modern Warfare 2 season. LAG was never going to be a top team, and in fact, most people would have ranked them at the bottom before the season began, and most people would be right. LAG finished Stage 1 with a 2-2 record before bouncing out of Major 1 with a 12th place finish. Neptune underperformed on LAN, which eventually led him to being benched again. I mean, he can't catch a break. This time, Neptune joined LAG's academy as they wanted to give him more time to develop on this new title. He spent approximately 3 months with LAG Academy, but took his talents elsewhere in the challenger scene, and it wasn't until April 2023 where Neptune truly began to shine. Teaming up with Proloot, Mohawk, and Spart on Millennium 7, he clinched victories in both Stage 3 and Stage 4 Elite playoffs. At the Challengers Champs, he got 12th place, showcasing an impressive 1.32 KD, which established him as one of the standout players in the amateur scene. I mean, he always had the talent to be a top slayer in the game, but it seems like a lot of out-of-game issues kind of forced him into the amateur scene time and time again, and eventually it was starting to weigh on him. The Modern Warfare 3 season marked a significant transition for Neptune. He played in early S&D tournaments, but something wasn't right. He felt like there was a lack of opportunity in the challenger scene, and after finding himself there time and time again, he decided it was time for a change. So he transitioned back to his first love, Halo. The transition was a significant talking point, and Neptune was a hyped prospect for Halo Year 3. He even said, "The decision to step away from Call of Duty stemmed from the realization that its current direction didn't align with my best interests. I think Halo is better for me right now competitively." And he was set up for success. He teamed with veterans like APG and Melquin, and people in the scene were really excited, but things didn't pan out the way Neptune or the community hoped. Internal issues, once again, this time with Native Gaming, led the team to drop Neptune early on. In a Reddit post, someone said, "I don't think I've ever seen a player fall off so fast. He was so hyped up when returning, and then he gets dropped from Native, and now he's done with Halo. He walked into a pretty good situation with some solid players, and he just threw it away." Now, whatever happened through his short stint in Halo in 2024, Neptune quickly realized that it just wasn't for him. So naturally, he transitioned back. And when he announced his return, it was met with mixed reactions. Regardless what people were saying about him, Neptune was ready to get back in the pit and prove that he was good enough to make the Pro League.
Perfect, and the return of Neptune. Yes, it's been a while since we've seen his name, but he played a couple of cups. He played in Toronto. Results weren't great, but hey, he's getting back into the swing of things. We'll see what he has to offer here on a map that he's going to be required to do some dirty work.
A few moments later.
Finding that one gives you the info that bomb site is going to be open.
Timing here, though, from Neptune. Gets around, gets through, and now if you're Mid Brooklyn, you have to isolate this. And if you're Neptune, you have to know you're being isolated. And you try to keep finding 1v1 wins, and yes, you do. You even have Temp coming over to doesn't need the help. Neptune just...
He ended the Modern Warfare 3 season on multiple Challengers teams, working his way back up and getting his name out there. But the Black Ops 6 season was the turning point for Neptune. This is when everything changed for him. Starting on Omit Brooklyn, he quickly became a top Challengers player.
Knows he needs to try to make some sort of play. Neptune trying to pinch it with him, and Neptune will take down 2. 25 and 20 for Neptune. Again, putting on some good pace here. Whoa, Neptune! Huge spin!
Winning Elite Stage 1, Stage 1 playoffs, and Cup number 5. After Major 1, pro players were advocating for his call-up. Everyone was saying, get Neptune in the league. Somebody needs this guy. It was almost a similar situation like with Hook. Vancouver Surge had a difficult start to the season and eventually released Hixie after he was really struggling. So Vancouver Surge, seeking a needle mover, signed Neptune on February 12th, 2025, and his impact was immediate.
And then he's going to send it. That's that internal game clock. 1, 2. Oh, dude, no way. This stuff's connected as well. There's no way. Did somebody turn? Did somebody turn? Kill him! He's weak! Why is no one looking at him?
I'm glad he's getting another shot, and it's deserved with how good he's been in challengers. Since his integration, he has infused the roster with a high level of aggression and playmaking. I mean, when you watch this guy's POV, it is just different from everyone else. He's always moving, he's always being aggressive, and he's opening the map for his teammates. This directly contributed to Surge's impressive performances and a significant shift in their season's trajectory. This is how much of an impact he made. In Hardpoint, their hold percentage went from 64% to 83%, resulting in an 11-5 record and a 6-1 map 4 record. In Search and Destroy, they improved to 8-5, becoming the #1 team in opening duels and boosted their post-plant win rate to a 65%. These stats confirm Neptune's arrival fundamentally transformed the team. Surge made the grand finals during the Minor 2 qualifiers and Major 2. Neptune had some highlights of his own.
That little effort gets a another one. Another one? Yeah, here we go. Triple into triple. Neptune. Dancing in front. Okay, here we go. They're powering up. They're powering up. Gets all forward as Neptune. You were down about 100, but hold up a second now.
Including some incredibly nice trash talk to none other than Benjamin Beans.
Go Heartbreaker! You are terrible. You are terrible. Beans, why are you smiling before the match? Look at me. Beans, you're terrible.
They got 4-0'd by FaZe in the grand finals, but proved to be a top team in the game with Neptune. They performed well in stage 3 and made it to the grand finals once again at Major 3, but unfortunately it was the same result. LA Thieves swept Surge 4-0, sending them home with $90,000. Since then, Surge have hovered around the 4th place spot with a top 12 finish at the most recent major, and Major 4 was Neptune's worst event of the season, but he does have the chance to make history in just a few weeks at 2025 Call of Duty Champs. They play Heretics in the first round and have a good chance to make a serious bracket run. But it's been pretty incredible to see how Neptune has bounced back this season, becoming one of the best players in the game and securing a spot in the Pro League for years to come. So there you have it, the incredible, tumultuous, and ultimately triumphant journey of Neptune. From his early days in Halo to navigating the competitive Call of Duty scene, Neptune has proven his resilience, talent, and undeniable impact. It's taken him years to get to this point, but his story is a testament to perseverance and passion in esports. It's clear he's here to stay as a force in the Call of Duty League, and I can't wait to see what he does in the near future. So shout out to Neptune, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, check out my recent video where I talked about the rise of scrap in Call of Duty Esports. If you enjoyed this one, you gotta check that one out. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.